Hey, Jay and Transit listeners, welcome back to this bonus 30-minute episode that plays off of, or continues, the conversation we had in We Have Questions. You'll hear my friend and I, Kate, react to some of the questioning that Christopher posed to me and Brandon when it was his turn to turn the tables on us. So would love to hear your commentary, but first, enjoy.
Have a little fun with this conversation from my last podcast. Okay. So I'm going to play a little clip. And this conversation starts, it was a continuing conversation where I had been speaking to Chris, my guest in the last episode, about his relationship cycle and what that looked like before and looked like now. And then he tried to turn the tables on me and Brandon, my other guest. And I just wanted to see what you think of his style of questioning in when it comes to me versus Brandon.
Why have you been single for 10 years? Like, what is going on? Like, what is the deal?
I have been single for 10 years for a lot of reasons, right? I think it started with you needed to heal. And I am not one of those. I've never been a woman that has to have a man or be in a relationship. So I've never sought it, right? Like for me, when I was growing up and even, through college at some point, it wasn't until I was 35 that my mom was like, okay, now you can focus on getting a man. So like that kind of message sinks in, that you're independent and you have other priorities, right? So yes, there was a time, that I lived with someone, was engaged. But since that time, it was, okay, let me focus on my career. Okay, I'm like now in my career, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm now in my career. And, I had a lot of excuses. I was like, oh, it's so incestuous. I don't, I worked in DC for about 5.5 years. Yeah, so everybody knew everybody, meaning, and I think this may also be what some folks think limiting, but I don't, I want to marry, if I, ever do get married, I want to marry a Black man.
Okay.
I date Black men. And so I am not open. I personally am not open to other. And that may be a good thing or a bad thing. I do say if I had been more open, I probably would have been married 3 times by now. But I don't really want to marry a Black man. And sometimes Black men aren't that kind to women of color. So there's that. And yeah, those have been my my reasons
and
for
Brandon?
the last 10 years.
Well, I haven't been single for 10 years. No, I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, that wasn't an attempt to throw shade. I'm just saying, like, I think,
know, I'm teasing you.
I think I've been slowly growing in myself, and part of that has been getting really clear about like what I want, and in relation to that, like who I get to be, to go after that. And I think there's just been some moments in my life, that have been transformative and have given me insight. It's one of those things where something happens in one aspect of your life and then it rolls over into many other aspects of your life. And so I think there's just been several moments in like the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years that have really influenced and changed. I moved to New York probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So I think all that being said, I think I'm in probably the best place I've ever been in terms of just being like mentally ready, spiritually ready to head down that path, and, to your point, let go of, quote unquote singleness, right? To have a completely different experience that is perhaps equal, if not, even more beautiful.
Yeah. So I was gonna. So what is So we start with you, Brandon, first. So what would be your ideal person? What is your vision for that? Do you have that yet?
Yeah, definitely. I um I think more than anything else, I think that I can describe it in characteristics or traits, but there's a part of it is like there is a feeling. And so, if I could attempt to describe that feeling that I like, I know it's not possible all the time, but like that I have when I'm around this person, I guess I would describe it like, uh, I would just describe it like a Sunday uh, afternoon in uh, at the end of August on the stoop of your apartment or house or wherever, like listening to good
Yeah.
music with some friends, like that feeling that is just warm and not overbearing, and um, uh, one of those feelings or those moments in your life that seems um, beyond memorable and seems to last forever. I guess that's what I would attempt to do, or attempt to describe it as. And so when I find that type of feeling that uh, you know is linked to just the general characteristics of like generous and caring and loving, and a woman of faith, and um, a person who's committed to learning, and growth. Those characteristics, I think that I'll know that
Well, I
I have
mean,
something.
that sounds beautiful, and I love your description. And I'm just trying to vision, like, what would you be building? Like, what would you hope to build within, like, not just the immediate, like that stuff that you're saying is it's kind of immediate effect, but like, where do you see this person in 5 or 10 years? Where do you want to be? Like, what's your vision for where you in in the next 5 to 10 years?
But yeah, I mean, I think part of that would be, I'd be really excited to come up with like some shared goals. Like, I'm really clear that, as I'm entering into, whatever the next is, hopefully a relationship and ultimately marriage, that it will be like a dual commitment. It'll be a commitment. I hope to be able to meet someone where I can still be 100% committed to like uh, the
Got
reason
you.
that God has put me on this planet, as well as 100% committed to the relationship I'm in, and also know that whatever God has placed her on this planet to do, that she can be 100% committed to that, as well as 100% committed to the relationship. And so I answer your question that way, where I feel like there's some things that I want to personally be able to accomplish,
Mhm.
on this planet while I'm here. But linked to that, I think I'm really excited to like come up with some shared goals. Maybe that's what you were referring to
Yeah.
when you talked about your marriage book, and you open that and you're like, wow, we have a lot of like shared things. But I'm sure there were things on there that like you didn't put in that marriage book, but were in the back of your mind, of things you wanted to maybe accomplish or just do for yourself,
Nah, I
whether
put
those
all
like
that in
are
the book.
experiences you wanted to
All that in the
have,
book.
or
Everything. Everything.
all right.
Yeah, everything.
Ooh, it's like the
So
playbook.
I don't know if it was like, if you were like no more
Nah, no,
Lifetime
no.
movies. I don't know if you
Yeah,
wrote that in the book,
yeah,
but
yeah. I put in the book. We're gonna make
That's a
home
deal
movies.
breaker.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh,
Yeah,
They will replace the
exactly.
sun. They may be a little bit more
We
juicy.
going all
So
flesh. No, but
listen.
no, I mean like you just like I'm just saying like it's just so much deeper because you I'm just gonna tell you life you just don't know what you're gonna face, and so there are going to be moments where you just don't have those feelings, when you just don't, because to spend a lifetime with somebody, you're going to go up and down. It's like when you're on a roller coaster ride and you're at the back and then you're in the middle and then you go and then you're on the ride and then you're at the top and then you go down and then you go back around and then you wait on the line again and get back. And marriage is just like that. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're on the line
Right.
waiting. And so while you're doing all of this, it's great to always, have a vision or a plan. And it could change. Things always change, right? But if you know what you want, she's gonna know what you want. If you share and you communicate and all these different things, and even if you take the word marriage out, to me the most important thing to a healthy marriage is communication. Whether you write things down, whether you plan things, when you share things, if you're always in constant communication, you can make anything work, even when it's not working. Yeah, I didn't
Awesome.
forget you. It's your turn now.
I was like
No, no, no. You
wrapping
have to. What's your
around.
vision? What do you, or do you have one?
I do. No, I think it ultimately look. So I do understand the feelings part, right? So at one point I was like, "Ooh, the feeling is, you know, related to sex or related to very superficial shit." So I, I get why you were like pushed us further to thinking beyond that and letting us know that feelings will change down the line. So ultimately, for me, it would be a partner who is accepting and willing to grow. And that grow doesn't necessarily just mean money, but like realizing that maybe at one point I'm on top and he's not, or roles switch. He comes up, I come down, and like, how are we going to take that switch in, I don't want to call it leadership, but in holding the reins, maybe, it's I'm having a problem and I'm seeking help and you're supportive. And the same thing, like, I would love for
Um,
my partner to also want to seek help, and not be the person who
can
blames,
can I offer something?
someone
Can I offer
for
something?
it. Are you
How
interrupting me?
about how about
Please.
if you're gonna go this deep with
Thank you.
somebody, there is no him and there is no you. How about whatever
I get
he's
it. I
facing, you're
get
facing, whatever you're facing, he's facing, and you're not, it's not about you versus him or him versus you or he's having a moment. No, if he's having a moment, we are having a moment. If you're having a moment, we are having a moment. If we don't address things in that way, then you can set up for a constant fight of keeping tally, keeping score, keeping record of who's feeling what today and who's going through what today. So you could take this or leave it. I just say this to say, like, when my wife is not doing good, we are not doing good. We are shutting down. If I'm having a good day and she's having a bad day, we are having a
right.
bad day. You know what I mean? Because it's just like playing spades
Right.
sometimes. Just because you don't have a good hand, but you celebrate in your partner having a good hand and they lift your hand up. And to me, and that's what I say. Like, it's not you're
Absolutely.
not it. I just hear a lot of people thinking like, no, what's his is his and mine is mine, and he has this and you have that, and y'all already divorced. You're the take to just move on and just be for yourself and be about you. And to me, relationships, commitment, and even friendships, like, I'm this way with friends. Like, if you're my friend and you're 100%, then no matter how well I'm doing, I want you to be doing just as well. And if you're in a marriage and you're always putting each other up and you're fighting for who could put each other higher, you'll never be down.
I don't think that that was my point, because I do agree. I do think that you know, whatever you are going through, so is he,
Okay.
and vice versa. My point was that, you know, what if it's two career driven individuals, but at one point, one gets the opportunity where you have to be the
Mhm.
stay at home dad, or you have to be the stay at home mom, right? And so it's just an understanding that, yes, you know, what you're going through, I'm also
Okay.
going through,
Yeah.
including at
No,
one
I got you. I
time, you
understand
know
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying? Did I make any
Yeah,
sense?
those things don't work though. Like it just
Yeah.
don't like it's very it's challenging because
I
I don't know, maybe you could give
love
me
the
cases,
input.
but think about it this way. We have to pour into each other. And if you're always working and if you're never around, how are you pouring into each other? How are you growing? How are you connected? Dedicated to your job and you put more dedication to your job than your family, that's a lot for a person to swallow, no matter who's the person. Whether it's the woman or the man, you feel lonely. You feel, you feel neglected because work is getting everything you want. So finding that balance to offset things, no matter who's on top or who's on the bottom or however you want to phrase this, finding that balance because no matter what happens, sooner or later you're gonna retire. Sooner or later, that job isn't going to be there taking care of you. Not taking you if something, God forbid, something happens, that job is not going to be there in strong support of you. So we have to be mindful of these things because at
Right.
any given moment, that job could be taken away or something can happen. So I'm just saying, like even with my wife, we go through this struggle too. She works a
Right.
lot, and I'm with the kids, or my job is flexible and whatever. But I will go have lunch at her job. I will go pick her up with the kids for dinner. I will go and find ways to get the most that I can. And also, these things don't last for long. Eventually, she switched jobs, and now we're into something different. And then we went from that to being in this pandemic where we have nothing but time to spend with each other. So, like you find balance
Yeah.
in what you do, and you go on vacation. You like you just have to always. That's why I said you have to
Right.
plan. You have to and work together as a team. Just playing your position, whatever your position is, who you are. That's how you contribute on the team. And sometimes, yeah,
I feel like you have ended on the same point that I started with. You and the only way I would change what you just told us
yeah,
is you have to be willing
yeah,
to change positions
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
this team
yeah.
or whatever team you create. Yeah. So
Okay. So,
Yes.
girl, what did you think? Because I have thoughts.
You tell me what you think first.
Okay. So I'm now confused,
Mm-hmm.
right? I am confused why 10 years was such a big
Right.
deal.
Right.
Like, like, what was I supposed to be doing? Like, traipsing with crazy people? Like, we've already talked about, in our conversation, how we've had enough of, we've cycled through enough of folks who are still figuring
But I
themselves out.
also am
Um,
disturbed by the fact that he thinks that you needed to be in a relationship in those 10 years. Because, like,
I think,
we don't have to be in relationships. No one has to be in a relationship. It is a choice. And we can choose not to be in one.
correct. And as I was answering the question then, um, that really was it, right? Like, I feel like I have been in the driver's seat in a lot of of those 10 years, right? Because in the 10 years, there was a period of time when I had just broken off an
Mm-hmm.
engagement, and that needed to, you needed to get through that. But after that, I feel like I have been in the driver's seat on what it is that I wanted to experience, how I wanted to spend my time,
Mm-hmm.
and who I wanted to spend it with. So I guess 10 years sounds crazy to people, but I mean, I felt like I've had a wonderful
Yeah.
life. I don't
Well,
know.
and 10 years goes really fast. And for me, like, yeah, I was single for 10 years. I had one brief 8-month relationship in the middle, but like, yeah, there were moments where I'm like, oh man, I really wish I had a boyfriend. But I think that was like more like society, like pressuring me, thinking I had to have somebody. But I needed those 10 years of just me. Like, you know, of course, dating and this and that there. But like, I was never in a relationship in which I was supporting and being supported and, you know, all of that. Like, I needed to learn how to be alone and be happy and content on alone. And so
Mhm.
I wouldn't take back those 10 years. And I don't think that, you know, people are like, oh my God, what have you wasted with your life? And it's like, actually, I didn't waste anything.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's a definite good point about being very comfortable in being alone, not just like figuring shit out on your own. Like, how do you book plane reservations and like get your ass on a solo trip and meet your friends, destinations
Mhm.
type of alone?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, that's
Right.
how I've
Yeah. Well, I
characterized
think for
it,
me, like,
but
I traveled
because
alone for the first time. I was in India for 2 months alone. And that was one of the most defining things in my life because I had to make all the choices myself. And like, I had always leaned on other people. Like, it's just like, I can do so much alone now. And if I hadn't been alone, I can't even fathom who I would be.
yeah. And so I do want to say up front that I'm not picking on Chris, right? I just wanted to highlight that this is the type of reaction that us women of a quote unquote certain age get all the
Yes.
time,
Yes.
right? Like it's shock. It's people start going into, this is the thing, right? Chris didn't say this, but his tone may have implied it. Well, you know, you're just so great. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Almost. And maybe that's what I heard when he kept asking me the question of 10 or emphasizing
Right.
10 years. I
And,
don't
you know,
know.
and I think that that's a problem with society right now. It's like making women and men feel dysfunctional for not being in a relationship for an extended period of time. Because we're so
Hmm.
conditioned to believe that we must be partnered up. And that's not necessarily
Right.
the case. And I think like Chris was coming from a perspective, you know, he's been married. I don't know how long he's been married, but like he probably doesn't even know what single is anymore.
12 years.
And
Right. And he did say that.
yeah, it, but
He
it's
did
like
say that.
single's
Yeah.
great. And
And
it's not a bad word.
thank you. Yeah. That's definitely the point at the end of the day. But it didn't end there.
No,
Chris was still, no, Chris was still very confused.
stop.
Like the last time
Yeah.
you had a man, Obama was president. Like he was at the peak. With like,
So it's
wow,
I broke up with my last relationship as he was
wow.
about to go for his second term. So yes, you are right. Um so yes, I think a bit of it is that I was married to my job. But at this point, like really I will say this. This is what I don't know how this will go over or how other women are feeling, but for me it's I can do a lot of shit for myself, right? And so at this point it's not like a caretaker in that provide like traditional provider role that would be attractive, but it would be like what are you adding to the things that I can do for me, like what am I willing to change my lifestyle for. And so yes, and I've had to deal with a lot of different you know, past traumas, you know, as like viewing my parents' relationships that wasn't the best thing, you know, my own, I guess, running away from relationships, or in relationships not being very communicative. So I've had to grow on those things as well. But ultimately, it came down to what have I been willing to change my lifestyle for? And I haven't found the
Okay.
person that I'd
I'm
be
like,
willing to
I
do
just
that
thought
for.
like they have a lot of nice, cool toys these days. So it's
I am not saying I have been celibate for 10 years. I am just saying my family has not met.
all right.
anyone in the last 10 years.
Well, is there some?
So thank
Is
you for
it?
clarifying
Is
that.
there
No,
somebody that got
that would be
away
kind
in
of
10
sad.
years? Is
That
there
would be
somebody
sad.
that was like borderline ready and ripe and you just passed and you said next? Or
No,
wow.
no, no. You know, the ones that I think got away were when I was in my fuck shit, right?
Okay.
In college. But in the
All right.
last 10
Well, let
years,
me
there
know. I got
wasn't
an uncle.
someone who got
He's
away.
good. He removes his teeth. He put them back in. You know what I'm saying? He got a nice pension. He got you, girl.
Thanks. I am so excited that you think I would keep
he got
these
a he
old
got a
men really happy.
he got a mean
I
prescription.
think
You
you
know
have
what
my
I'm
back.
saying? He gets the energy in his pills. Like he's ready to rock.
Wow. I mean, like he's offering you family.
I mean, I should have just been like, here's my fuck.
I just like I don't understand the confusion. Like I don't think that I would ever be like you're never like, wow, you're married for 10 years? Why? Like what's the like
Fact.
but his confusion confuses me. And I think that goes a lot into like society and things we had talked about before, like conditioning and stereotypes of or expectations of what a successful life looks like. And I think a lot of people associate successful life with a relationship. So he's looking at you like, why are you still single? Like, yes, you clearly are an incredible woman, but he just can't fathom. And now he's offering you all these options. You're like, but I'm good. Like, I'm more than likely single by choice.
Yeah, and I tried to point out that just like you, Kate, as you mentioned earlier on in our conversation, that for me, it is a matter of someone who's going to stand strong next to me. It will be a matter of, what am I changing a lifestyle that I've, took a long time, sweat and tears to build.
Right.
And so I'm not saying that, we're walking into, the sunset forever single, but I definitely want to make the energy I expend worth it and the energy I receive worth it. So
absolutely. And it's just like what was I going to say? It's just, we want somebody who's strong enough to stand next to us. We have established ourselves and our lives and everything like that. And it's like, you do need to make changes in your life to welcome someone in, just, create space for them. But you want to, like you said, is this somebody that will fit into my world? Will I fit into their world? Like, how would the icing, they're the icing on my cake that I've already built and it tastes great already. Like, is there a flavor I want to add into my life? And so I think a lot of people just don't understand that, where, the stronger of a woman you become, I don't want to use the word picky, but just like, you're not just going to jump in just because you need a ring and an aisle to walk down with someone.
Right. And, I do also want to throw it back that I'm looking for icing, but he's looking for icing too. So like, I may not be the icing on his cake. So
exactly.
No, that was awesome. So I wanted to know, before we wrap up, and again, I spoke to Chris afterwards, and I feel like you were right on in the conversation, Kate. That's exactly what he said. My confusion comes from, I've met amazing women, and I just can't fathom that no one has, taken their chance. So,
right.
Well-intentioned place. But my point in bringing it up in this episode is that this is not new, right? Like this is strangers, who are asking me, from strangers all the way to family. They have no shame in putting us in that quote unquote spotlight. So I would say, as we wrap up, are there any tips for, our well-intentioned friends and family and strangers about questioning around, that we're single and why we're single, etc.?
I would say, back to what we were talking about earlier, like single is not a bad word. And unless I am coming to you or this person is coming to you asking for support and advice, like don't add like shame that is unnecessary to where they are at in their life, because like some people might feel shame around it and now you've placed more on top of it, whereas some women, I don't feel shame in my singlehood, but like you don't know, no one knows that. Like like who are you to like put this weight on me because it makes you uncomfortable that I'm single? Like I'm not uncomfortable that I'm single, you are. And so people like turn it, so it's just like, if the person is happy and good, like, unless they're asking you to hook them up with someone, just be happy for them.
Yeah, I would keep your uncles to yourselves.
Keep your
like
uncle to yourself.
I was like,
Yes.
that was cute.
And I'm aware of all the toys out on the market. Like, I don't need someone telling me. Like,
I would absolutely, write reviews if folks are looking. But no, that wasn't the reason. That definitely didn't play into why I am single. But yeah, that was funny.
Woo! That was definitely a fun conversation, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed having it. So I'd love to hear your commentary. I can be found on J in Transit on Instagram. And yeah, let me know if you're having these conversations too, what your thoughts are on them. Is this just for women or are men also being asked? So until our next time.